Hello, 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 and welcome back to Bishop Chapter. It's going to be a short one, very quick one today, as I've not had a whole lot of time to work on the projects in the past couple of days, but I'll show you what I do have. Starting off, we have a hieroglyph concept. Just basically picking out a palette and kind of trying that, different combinations of it, adding textures, which it's kind of redundant now for reasons I'll explain very shortly. But on the left you can see some reference images that I drew the palette from, and then you can see kind of my range of colours that I chose, and finally you can see me trying some of these out. To be honest, these middle two I'm not a massive fan of. The left one I think worked out pretty well. It's extra effective with sort of scratches and texture, but this is my favourite up here. It's very sandstony, very Egyptian feel to it. And if I do get around to actually texturing these models, this is the one I will go with. If you do take a general look at these reference images, it does seem like the most fitting one, although this kind of orangey tint in these two kind of, yeah. Anyway, moving on. The next image. I drew up some concepts for the walls and general, I don't know, just some visuals for the walls. The Egyptian theme is only really going to apply, at least on the surface level of the map, to the outer walls, so there wasn't much more I could do rather than sketch up some designs. Again, I used the previous reference images and took some shapes and yeah. For this one, for example, I've given it a bit of a twist. I've combined the industrial vibe with it, so you can see at the top, all along the walls, we've got some barbed wire fences. We've got some graffiti on the walls made by the inhabitants of the base, and then we've got some reinforcements and general just kind of amateur looking sheet metal plates and wooden planks. Over here we've got a bit more of the same, more graffiti, and I was playing around with having massive hieroglyphs on the wall as well to really lean into that Egyptian theme. This is a view of the top of the walls. I tried out a brick rubble sort of thing, but it struck me that I'm not sure where they would have gone with a sort of ruined vibe if it was all freshly built for their base. So I've since sort of gone away from the ruiny direction. I like the stairs. I like the way the stairs turn out, having hieroglyphs on each of the steps as well. And then some more visuals down here. I was taking from the palette again, which I copied over here, and mixing some of the different tones together. This was a bit more of the orangey one. These are alternate designs for the main gates. I know I spoke before about the gates and how you'd be able to see through them to the outside, but I quite like the idea of them being like this with the gears, and I feel like the gear would be a good visual indicator as well of the successful opening of the door. And I've drawn up a quick gear here with the Eye of Horus or Ra, whatever you want to see it as. And then down here I've played a bit more with bricks, ruins, got cracks in the bricks, they're very uneven. Another combination of the styles, Egyptian mixed with the industrial, And here again, a closer look at the barbed wire fence. Cool. Switching over now to Maya, where I've been modeling some stuff. You can see a quick layout of how I plan to be constructing these walls and the Egyptian population. Yeah, it's kind of self-explanatory, but I've come up with a series of wall pieces that will allow me to, because it's hard to get a size reference really between Maya and Unreal. You don't really know if something's going to work until you put it into the engine, so I've come up with a way of limiting the difficulty of that for myself. You can see I've got single pieces, smaller pieces normal, there's a large piece for the longer parts of the wall. We've got dead end sections which seamlessly connect then to the walls. Here is a stairs section, so this one is different because it has a small gap onto which you can connect either stairs or then a bridge. These are the gate pieces. So inside these there'll be a console, which I've modeled down here, just a very quick mock-up. Final design TBD. And then down here we've got the barbed wire fence. Eventually this section in the middle will have an alpha texture of the wire fence, and then this section here will have the actual barbed wire curling around it. That's if I get around to texturing. And then over here we've got the towers which will sit along the wall. So we've got a section where you can go right through, and then a section with dead ends. It's a mock-up of the gear, gate, blockade, a couple of metal sheets. And I've taken the liberty of chucking a few of these together and beginning to assemble part of the map here. I'm using blocky stand-ins as the buildings, so the focus is very much the walls. You can see it very much does kind of work, this whole piecing together thing. Especially I've got the corner piece as well, just here. And of course they're all open to the bottom and the sides. For no massive reason really, just because you're not going to see those faces. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. Now, going back to what I was talking about with texturing, I've had a few different ideas. First of all, just to save on time, because the focus of this project is very much about the mechanics of the puzzles, I do want to save the texturing aspect until more towards the end. I don't want to prioritize it. It's going to be replacing time I could spend messing with the puzzles and sorting that out. But I do feel the texture would add a lot to the visuals, so I would like to get it done eventually. But I was also toying with a black and white cell shaded visual for the game, which would completely scrap the idea of texturing with bricks altogether. It would lose the hieroglyph aspect, but it would add a nice visual style to the game on the flip side. And it also ties in well with the comic that it's kind of inspired by, which will be black and white and generally sort of cell shaded look to it. Although it would be cool to have the game match that I haven't quite made my mind up yet. And then finally, another look at the adjusted schedule. I've given myself a few extra days, such as here. I've added some overspill for the concepts because I didn't get them done as fast as I'd hoped. And I didn't get as far as pillars and tombs. However, I did start on another concept. The only thing being that it's mainly of the underground section, which, although I'd like to do it eventually, I'm not sure if it's going to be the main focus for now. But you can see that underground there's a lot more potential for pillars and statues than there is overground, which is why I've sort of held off slightly on these last couple. So I started that on Monday. It is now Wednesday night / Thursday morning, so we are here. This is the video I'm doing right now, and tomorrow I will be model placing and map making. I've added the map making in. It's to rush along the puzzles. So I've got some ideas for the puzzles. I'll talk about that in a future video. But I'd like to draw interior maps of buildings just to help out with conceptualizing some of the puzzles. If I take you back to the Maya window, so for example, one of the first puzzles the player is going to encounter is in this building. So maybe one of the first, depends where the game starts, but you'd go up the stairs, you'd follow along here, you'd go under there, you'd enter this room, and there'd be a puzzle sequence in there. The idea is that you can't really complete it at this time, but you do get some information from it that will help you. And if you exit out a door, which will be here, you'll head into this building, this tower, where there is a console with 3 orbs on it, which will light up once 3 puzzles have been completed. So the idea is that you need to power this gate. So to flip the switch on the console, you need to light up all the orbs. And the first hint is going to be a cable running from this console along the wall into this top room and into some sort of container that will have a switch or a lever that will then activate one of the orbs on here. And once all 3 have been lit and the switch is pulled, get the gear turning. But you need both gears turning. In here, not inside the wall, there is yet another console with 3 more orbs. So the idea is in total 6 puzzles, with the final puzzle being the actual gate puzzle, which I'll get into further down the line, because it's pointless explaining it now if there's a chance I'm never going to be able to actually program it in. But yeah, you've seen the map in the last couple of videos, so this is the kind of southernmost section. You might recognize it. I'll probably compare an image side by side in the edit. But you have the lake over here, you have the road going up, and then you have like a parking section down here. The wall continues, and outside there's a bunch of trees, and there's a building here as well. So, this actually turned into a longer video than I'd hoped, but hopefully this clears things up for you, gives you a bit more information, and I will catch you when? On the 19th, with a level update, if all goes well, today. Great. I'll see you then. Goodbye.